On this episode, we talk about when to switch from build to growth in a startup, e-commerce advice and mentorship, and how to have a good relationship with your affiliates. Hey everybody, welcome to episode 38 of the AskEngine show. We are enthusiastic that it is a Friday. I've decided I'm gonna come up with a new word for
every day.
Excited every day. I'm just gonna rotate them out. It's a Friday. We have a lot of things cooking. We have a meeting in 15 minutes, and so we're gonna go ahead and jump into 3 questions and hopefully give you all some value today.
Yeah, Humphrey BC on Reddit asks, when should I shift from build mode to growth mode? So some context around them here. His co-founder and he have been working since June of 2017 on a product. And they're trying to figure out when to switch over into kind of high growth, focused on moving the platform forward. Yeah. Sounds pretty familiar to kind of where we are right now.
Yeah. See, this is an interesting conversation because the way that I think of it as a marketer and the way you think of it as a product person, we're probably going to disagree on the path. So I'd love to know, what do you think?
Yeah, I think you shift from build to growth whenever growth becomes something that you don't have to bug the engineering team about. So right now, like in build mode, you'd be onboarding customers. It's probably a manual process. So you're on the phone with somebody, setting up, onboarding them onto the platform, that sort of thing. I think growth mode can really be enabled when it becomes a process of filling out a form online and then you spin up whatever, or you create their account on your platform and they're good to go and you don't have to touch kind of the engineering resources. That's how I look at build versus growth.
Yeah, and I think it depends on what you're selling, the price point, the customer journey. There's a lot of unknowns in here that really matter. The details matter here. If you're selling a $20 product or a subscription, if you're a SaaS company, you're selling anything under $100 a month, you've got to have an automated sign-up. It does not make sense from an ROI perspective to have a sales team. And so you use engineers to build the assets, and then you test them. So you test landing pages, flows, emails. That's where growth marketing comes into play, is just testing and collecting a ton of data. If you're building larger software, so if you're building a higher price point, I think that the growth mode should start when it's a little uncomfortable to start it, because most great products go out of business because they weren't communicated correctly. I mean, there have been products that have solved so many issues, but the team was so relentlessly focused on building the best product, they never realized that they've got to go talk to people about it. Yeah. And so I want to encourage you. Yes, you're right that you need to be able to grow without, either have the resources to where your engineering team is working on engineering, and then you have a sales and growth marketing team. But I also want to encourage you not to wait too long, because if you wait too long and you build the best product in the world, but you've not spoken to anyone about it, you're going to run out of money by the time that you believe the product is ready. And so it's a fine line, and just do both. Put out a piece of content about it, see and put out your V1 of your onboarding process, and then iterate from there.
Well, if you're not embarrassed by your MVP, it's not an MVP. Like if you have been building this since June of last year and it's a small SaaS product, you're probably going to release something that's overbuilt and polished, which is not terribly bad, but think about how many iterations you could have gone down the line if you would have released the instant you possibly can, and got that feedback from your customers. Yeah,
because when you're a little bit embarrassed, you're allowing the feedback to guide the roadmap, obviously with the input of your product lead and best practices. But you need customer feedback, because ultimately your customers are buying it. You're not.
For sure. Second question. This person from r/ecommerce is looking for e-commerce feedback, and basically dig into here. Their advertising's working. It's centered around Facebook ads. They're looking for Instagram influencers. They want resources to speed that up. So books, YouTubers, guides, everything to speed up their process of driving traffic to their store.
Perfect. So for the cue card coming into it, so to summarize this question, it's a very wordy question, so it's rather difficult. She's looking for resources to follow and learn on how to grow her her e-commerce business. This is a question that we've answered quite a lot. So I'm gonna say, look, we're gonna tag a few different videos in the description, and here, and Joe, I don't know if we can put like a little video like pop up. That'd be cool, like video in video. we're going to put a few of these on here. We talked about traffic channels this week. You've got to realize that growth takes time, and it's not a fun thing to say, but you've got to start a fire, and then you take paid media and pour it onto that fire. That takes time just from a human communication standpoint. You don't want to burn yourself out reaching out to 1,000 people a day. You want to reach out to 100 people a day and do that for 3 months.
Well, I'm looking at their site right now, and it's a good looking site, but I don't see any content on here.
No.
I would say start writing, start creating your own brand around whatever you may be reselling. Start blogging, start pushing out Instagram content on the daily.
Go to the Instagram page.
It's coming up.
So 332 followers.
Following 2,000, yeah.
Following 2,000. So the big thing here is what are you doing? Because right now you don't have a big following. Your content is very good.
Yeah, if this is what they're
I
producing.
know this company that creates these juice bottles. So are you borrowing content? And if you are, you need to reference that, because a lot of this, it's very, very good imagery. But a lot of it doesn't have much to do with what you're selling. So the thing I would talk about here is number one, going and finding influencers who are in the 5, 10, 15, 25,000 person space, doing product exchange with them, asking them to tag out and link to you, creating an affiliate program, creating an ambassador program for them to be rewarded. That's going to be important. And then what are you doing on the actual, the hashtags that you're putting in? So you're putting in hashtag fashion. That is a massive hashtag.
481 million posts.
Yeah.
How do you stand out in that?
And what are you doing to go in and comment and get people to engage with you on the platform itself? Ultimately, if you're selling them a dress, you need to be putting out content around things that would involve that dress. So putting content around your jewelry, putting content around what you can do on a Friday night out. The tactics and the strategy is very simple. The execution is what matters.
Yep.
How much time are you putting into engaging with your community? East Coast Lifestyle is a company in Ontario, and the owner talks about the first 6 months of the company, he spent from 10:30 at night to 2 in the morning every single night, 7 days a week, just talking to people on Instagram, just creating a community without asking for anything. You need to put in the work and the time if you don't have the media dollars to put in behind your sales channels.
Yep.
And then from there, conversion rate optimization, we have a lot of videos there talking about split testing, what you can and can't do on product pages, things of that nature. We'll link it up to you and send that to you with just a bunch of different links. Hopefully it helps.
Last question from r/entrepreneur. Artby Blackhawk asks, how do you build a good relationship with your affiliates as a brand? They're setting up an affiliate program. They want to know how to build a great relationship with all those affiliates they're connecting with. Good practices, best practices, tips, that sort of thing. And they also kind of want to know from an affiliate perspective, what do you expect from that brand relationship?
So care about them. It's as simple as that. There's not a tactic like write a card on the third Tuesday. No, forget that. Care about the people. How do you create a relationship with the people you love? You care about them. You give them attention. You talk and interact with them. That's how you build a relationship. And I say this a lot. Building a relationship online is the exact same way you build a relationship in person. You have conversation. You find what you like and you don't like about each other. You talk to each other. Yeah. And that's what you need to do. And then you need to build scalable systems and processes once you're big to be able to scale that human interaction.
Well, and to make sure that you can pay all those people on time, that their affiliate links are getting tracked correctly. I know that's a huge thing for one of our brands that we work with is correct tracking for all of our affiliate networks. Just because if somebody misses a sale and they know that that's their sale, you're going to hear about it in your inbox 5-6 times because they're going to be upset about it.
Yep. Yeah. That's really it for that one. It's those things. Make sure people are paid, making sure that you're fulfilling on the promises that you've set out to fulfill upon, and then just caring about the people and speaking to them on a regular basis, not just about business, but about what's going on in their life. A very quick tactic you can do, create a list of all those people on Twitter or on Facebook or on Instagram, and be mindful about commenting and engaging with their content even after they've become an ambassador. So the biggest thing you can do is that if you've got 200 people and each one of them is posting daily, take 20 of those posts every day and write a thoughtful or meaningful comment on their post. Engage with them so you can stay top of mind.
Yeah.
Perfect. Let's question of the day. Do you have one?
Man, circling back to that first question on build versus growth, I'd love to hear stories from our audience about like a time that you switched from build to growth too soon or maybe too late.
Perfect. Thank you all for watching, and we will see you Monday.